what I decided to make this video about today is, can you heal on raw foods? Do raw foods make the body or help the body to heal? So I just want to start off by saying that, I think that raw foods are very nutrient dense and they're wonderful for the human body. Even the dehydrating some of the foods to mimic some of the things that we have eaten in the past and give us that comfort. That's what it kind of is a comfort. I think that when they're done in a healthy way, could be very healthy. But I think what's even healthier is focusing more on the sprouts, the greens, the leafy greens like kale and spinach, and even spring mixes are good. Definitely a lot more fruit, and all of these things are definitely wonderful things for us. But the answer to whether or not they heal the body is no. They're not what heals the body. What actually heals the body is the elimination of all of the foods that we've been eating for years. And when I talk about what foods that we're eating, because a lot of people, I know this is elementary to some people, but a lot of people out there don't know what foods to eat and not eat. They don't really understand. They don't even know the difference between raw vegans and vegans. And the truth is that a vegan can eat Oreos all day and still be a vegan. A raw vegan can't. So that's the difference between a vegan and a raw vegan, just to clarify some of that. But there's a lot of misleading information out there about a lot of different things, and there's a lot of confusion about a lot of different things. And it's really kind of sad because people don't know which way to turn. And, the reason why I decided to focus this on what people aren't eating is to make people understand that healing the body really has to heal first before it can actually take in nutrients. And how the body heals is by eliminating the things that caused the problems in the body in the first place. And a lot of what causes the problems in the first place are all the processed foods, the salts, the breads, pastas, cereals, things that are just laden with garbage and just fill the body full of so much. We're just full of all of this stuff, and we can't even really take in the nutrients, the good foods that we need to be eating, the God-given foods that we need to be eating. So, one of the reasons why people don't heal and they don't feel better, even when they're taking certain things, is because they're full of all this other stuff. And, they don't really seem to understand that breads are causing you to have all the pain in your body because they're inflammatory. You're eating a constant inflammatory. And this inflammatory just takes over your body. It also absorbs things in your stomach, the acids in your stomach and things. So you can't really ever heal by eating these things. So that's just such an important thing to understand. That's why people water fast and juice fast. And people said to me, well, Laura, why in the world would you juice fast? You weigh about 100 pounds soaking wet, and you're about to fly away with the wind, and you're sitting here doing a 7-day juice fast, or a 70-day juice fast that I did, and you were a vegetarian, pescatarian. I was both vegetarian and pescatarian for 30 years. I kind of went back and forth with that, but that wasn't doing anything for my body because I was still eating other junk. So what good does it really do if I wasn't eating any beef products? Yeah, that might have helped me on some levels, but sometimes I think the breads, pastas, and cereals are worse than the meat is and all that. I don't think any of it's really good, but the point that I'm trying to make is that people don't understand what they need to eliminate. And, you know, when they say to me, well, why don't you eat pizza? Well, I don't eat bread, so how could I eat pizza? Well, why would you go through the trouble of making a raw pizza? Like, what is the actual point to this? The actual point to this is what's healing the body is what I'm not putting into it anymore. Not the foods that I'm eating. These foods aren't healing me. It's not, oh, I'm eating this and this is healing me. What healed me is the fact that I did, when I got into raw foods, I did water fast. I did a 7-day water fast. I did different cleanses. I did parasites. I had parasites. Lots of people have them and they don't know they had them. I did liver cleanses, kidney cleanses. But the most important thing is that I stayed on raw foods, and I did and would not eat cooked oils, breads, pastas, cereals, and all of that other processed stuff that has 50 ingredients, and half of them are cancerous and the other half are just stopping your body up full of stuff to where you can't go to the bathroom anymore. You know, so I stopped eating all of that stuff, and I refused to put it into my body. And that's why I did a video on planning and why it's so important to plan your meals, to help people understand this is what you have to do in order to be able. It seems like it's so hard, but what it is we've all gotten so lazy through the years, lazy about just wanting things quick, pop them in the microwave. The microwave is the most repulsive thing. I won't even have one in my kitchen anymore. I've gotten rid of it. I got rid of my microwave because I can't even stand if somebody else uses it to have it on, because it is one of the worst things for the human body to eat microwave food. I mean, I could do a whole video on that. But that's why it's so important to understand that it's what you're not doing and what you're not eating anymore to heal the body. And a lot of people just don't understand why I would go through the trouble of making a raw pizza. What the heck is a raw pizza? I mean, if you're going to put it in the dehydrator, why can't you just cook it? And why can't you just eat, you know, because I don't want to eat inflammatory bread. And I don't want to cook in an oven because there are things about cooking methods that are also making us sick. So the reason why I do all these things is to keep myself from doing things that I shouldn't eat, that are going to not heal my body, not keep my body in the healing that I want it to be doing. So these are very basic things, and you know, a lot of people are so scared. There's so many scare tactics out there about nightshades and oxalates, and oh my God, if I eat all this stuff, I'm going to get so sick. And you know, the very people, and I was in a situation like this not too long ago, that say to me that, you know, spinach isn't good for you, the oxalates are no good. They don't even know anything about it. That is a misled information. There are different topics about that and people that you can listen to that will explain in better detail than I can about oxalates. I understand it, but I can't really explain it. But if people understood how misleading a lot of this stuff is, that it's not people who are eating spinach and eating nightshades that are getting sick, it's all of the processed garbage, and then that causes the problem in the first place. And then the doc says don't have nightshades anymore, you know. But funny how that works, because when people get on raw foods after they heal and they stop eating all the things they used to eat and the body starts healing, they can actually start eating more and more nightshades, and before you know it, after years, they could eat all the nightshades they want. Why is that? It's because you cannot heal the body without getting rid of certain things in the body. And when the body heals and you eliminate the problem that caused it in the first place, I think it's terrible when the God-given fruit people can't eat. Pineapple, which has a lot of sugar in it. Pineapple is one of the fruit, but it's one of the healthiest fruit that there is out there. But it's also got more sugar in it. And a diabetes, they tell you, you can't eat pineapple anymore, which is really a sad thing because you need pineapple. You need watermelon, you need apples, you need grapes, you need all these antioxidants to fight the free radicals and all the garbage that we're dealing with. It takes a lot to fight what's going on out there. And if you keep eating bread and you're having arthritis and you're eating an inflammatory like that, why do you even bother to go out and buy medicine and eat turmeric and eat things like that? Turmeric ain't going to do nothing for you if you're eating bread, because bread has more inflammation in it than the man in the moon, and it's not going to help you with any of these problems. And so therefore, yeah, you might be eating some turmeric and it might be putting a little bit of extinguisher on the problem, but you're still eating the flames. You're still standing there throwing flames in your mouth, so it's not going to work. So it's the abstinence from these foods that is going to heal your body. So you have to eliminate these things. Yeah, it's nice that some people want to eat salads and they see all these good foods and everything and they want to eat healthier. But it's a lot easier to eat healthier when you start eliminating all of these things, because you're not going to be hungry for all the garbage anymore. I look at a piece of pizza now and it looks like, I don't know, it looks like a piece of like cement and just gooey. I think about all the stuff that's going to goo up the inside of my body and how bad it is for my body. And I don't even want it. It's not appetizing to me anymore. I'm not torturing myself by eating this way. I enjoy the raw foods. And the raw foods are very nourishing to my body. But what healed my body was the fact that I would not eat one stitch, not even a roasted nut. Because roasted nuts are roasted in oils. And when you eat cooked oils, it causes all kinds of problems, and it also keeps that want for cooked foods and for all of these things that are processed and more salts. You want the salt because them things aren't just roasted, but there's a ton of salt in them and things, and it will give you a trigger. You know, it's like a drug addict or something sitting there thinking that they could do a line, or they can just do once in a while, have a half a joint and not smoke the whole thing, or, you know, God knows what. It doesn't work. Things like that don't work. Well, it's the same thing in food. It's the same exact thing, except we have to eat to survive. So we have to find a way to eat foods that are nourishing to our bodies and that are not addictive. We need to get rid of the addictions, and that's why I made a video even on coffee being addicting, and why I quit coffee, and why I have no addictions anymore. Because I eliminated all of these things. And I don't have the craving for them anymore. And I don't have inflammation in my body anymore. That's why my sinuses are clear now. And I don't wake up in the morning with a migraine first thing. Or I come home and I have to take a nap anymore. And that's why I don't even need that much sleep anymore. That the sleep that I get of about 6 hours, but it's not just the amount of hours. Some raw vegans sleep even less hours than I do, that have been raw longer than I have. But the point is that the quality of sleep is so much better. But because I don't eat late at night, that also helps heal my body. I don't eat food late at night. I try to quit eating 3 hours before bed so my body has time to digest, and my body doesn't have as much repairing to do. That's why I have all the energy I have, and I don't need all of the sleep that I used to, and I don't have all the problems that I used to have, because I did things to heal the body. And I did a 70-day juice fast, and a lot of people ask me why, and I did, and some people do longer than that. I mean, some people need longer than that. I did lots and lots of little water fasts. I did watermelon fasts, parasite cleanse, kidneys, liver. I did all these cleanses because I wanted to get well. And I wanted to stay, but if I was doing those cleanses and I was still eating the things I was eating, they wouldn't have done anything for me. If I sat there and ate breads and pastas and cereals and processed foods and I was doing that, it wouldn't have done me any good. So it's not what you're eating, it's what you're not eating. That's the bottom line. And that's the point that I wanted to get across. And even if it only helps 2 or 3 people out there that don't know these things, that's all it would take to make me happy. I'm glad to help anybody. The reason why I'm just so into this lifestyle, and I'm so enthusiastic about this is because of the problems that I had. It's because I lived my life every day in a tunnel, not knowing what I needed to eat and not eat. I was getting confused by the different things that I was hearing. When I finally put my faith into raw foods and I finally realized it was really a last resort for me, but I realized what I needed to eliminate from my diet in order to be able to heal. And there's a lot of stories out there about raw vegans deteriorating, and raw vegans that think that, you know, when they're eating processed foods and more eggs and breads and milks and all that stuff, that it's just settling much better into their bodies and they feel better on it and they look better on it and all this kind of stuff. It's because our bodies, we weren't really designed to eat all of that stuff, and we don't have a digestive system anymore. Our bodies don't know how to digest because we haven't been eating what we're supposed to be eating, the fiber. And people say it's too much fiber. It's not once you get used to eating it. It's not. It is in the beginning. It is hard. It's not easy to eat the raw foods and just start eating raw foods. This has to be done in a certain manner. If people are interested in it, they have to be really serious about wanting to heal the body. And the most serious thing about it is healing, not eating these certain foods. And then we have to find the foods that nourish the body to build the body back up, to eat the fibers and the things that are going to help us. And that's really all I have to say about all of this. I hope that people understand that I'm not trying to point fingers at anybody, and I'm not trying to go on a rant or anything like that. I just know from my own experience and what I've went through to get to this point in my life that I feel absolutely like a different person since I've been living like this. And somebody couldn't pay me $1 million. You couldn't give me $1 million to eat a pizza knowing what it's going to do to my body, that my health is worth more than $1 million. And the way I feel and the way that I wake up every day is worth so much more to me than all the money in the world. So I hope that this can help somebody. I hope that people will consider looking at the labels on the foods and understanding how to heal the body, and to not be so hard on themselves about things. But if you want to heal the body, that is what you need to do. So I'm just going to close today with the word for the day is Matthew chapter 5, verse 45. And it says, "He makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends the rain on the just and on the unjust." So I hope that this video has helped somebody. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and have a wonderful, blessed day.